And to be honest, like thinking back on that time in my life is still really crazy because literally in a matter of weeks, like probably a month in total, like every area of my life 180'd. Everything that I had been like trying to manifest for so long, like trying to force coming in, came into my life effortlessly. It still just baffles me to this day to like think back on that. Hey you guys, I'm Mo. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy for you guys to be here with me today. Today we're going to be talking about how to generally just become a new you, but I kind of want to go a layer deeper because I know all over social media there's like the whole like rebrand era and things like that, and I guess this sort of like dovetails with that, but what I really want to dive into is like how that impacts manifestation and like what you're actually producing in your life, because everything comes back to who we're being, you know what I mean? Like reality is vibrational, and what reality is responding to who we are. So the only way we can actually like make shifts in our life and like change what's actually coming into our reality is by changing who we are. So that kind of leads us to our rebrand era and how to actually become a new person and shift into a new energy, into a new consciousness, so you can actually change your life, or rather it will change for you. If you're new, here we talk about quantumly sculpting a better reality. I so hope that you will stick around and join me for future videos. I am joining you from the forest today, and I'm so happy. It's a little bit muggy out, and I have a hot cacao, which is probably not the best drink, but it's exciting, and I want to make sure today's video is very heart-centered, and cacao definitely puts me in that state. So the first thing I think is really, really important to grasp, and I know we kind of touched on this, is just how foundational the identity is. And if you're new to quantum mechanics and manifestation, we've proven that we are directly intertwined with our observable reality. What impacts what's being reflected back to us, or like the state of the electron, is our state of being. It's what makes up our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs. And so much of this is like pre-programmed. Like we grow up in the first 7 years of our life, we're in the theta brainwave state predominantly. And so we're just like little sponges, like just absorbing information, because the barrier between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind is really thin. So we don't have a lot of like say to sort of like shut certain things out and like take other things in. So that's why a lot of times like experiences in our childhood are, you know, really intense or traumatic, or we hold on to, like during those years, like we really get shaped into who we are, because that barrier is so soft and we're so susceptible to suggestion. But as we get older and we start to kind of like understand maybe what happened to us or where our limiting beliefs are, we can start changing some of these things. Things we might not even be aware of, and I think that's okay, but it's amazing how much of our identity is made up by our environment in our upbringing. Like that can be parents or teachers, or just overall like society in general, you know what I mean? Like we pick up so many things, and it's amazing like how many things we end up just carrying with us and not really understanding. One thing I do want to say is I think like one of the things that can be kind of overwhelming when it comes to like subconscious reprogramming is like you feel like you have to rewrite every single one of your beliefs, but the way we're going to be approaching it kind of bypasses that, so you can kind of target everything holistically and at once, because basically all of your thoughts and your beliefs and your emotions collectively make up your identity and produce an electromagnetic signature. And that electromagnetic signature is what determines what's getting reflected back to you in your reality. And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. Like if you want to change your personal reality, you have to change your personality. There's a way we can like tackle this and do this that is energetic and therefore not kind of like manually and logically going into each of the beliefs and changing those. Rather, it's stepping into the feeling of what that electromagnetic signature feels like and what it embodies, and it's very nonverbal and all-encompassing once we can reach that state. The first exercise that we are going to do together, and I want you to actually sit and do this with me because it's crucial, and you're here watching the video, you've got the time, so let's sit and do this. We are going to get very clear on who this version of you is. Let me put it to you this way. You're here, you're trying to get here, and the only difference between these two people is how they're feeling, how they're behaving, how they're thinking, their identity. So what we have to do in order to close that gap is we have to get really clear on who you are now and who this person is that already has everything that you want. The best way to think about this is like you are an actor or an actress getting ready for a role. You have to study and know every single thing, every single detail about this person's life, and understand how they show up, how they move, how they speak, how they think, their mannerisms, their emotions. Like every single detail about them we need to get clear on to a T, because that's the new role that you're going to be embodying. I don't know what they call it in acting when they like embody the state for like a long period of time, just living as this character. That's basically what we're going to be doing. I just feel like this part is very exciting because we get to have a lot of fun and really get clear on like who that dream version of you, like who is that dream version of you? You know what I'm saying? Like there's all these things that you want, and I think it's so easy for us to like sit in want and desire and like coming from a place of lack, you know what I mean? But like this is the time where you actually get to like be a kid almost and like daydream and be like, okay, like if I was actually the astronaut, if I was actually the metaphysicist, whatever you dreamed about as a kid, whatever you want right now, like whatever that big dream is, like this is the time where you get to give yourself permission to actually step into that state. You know what I mean? And I think for so many years, like we shut that part of ourselves down that allows us to dream. But what they didn't tell us is that stepping into the dream is actually what's going to create it. So the more you can actually step into it and feel it and have fun with it and imagine that it's actually yours, it's already yours, like that's going to be the thing that produces it. It's really, really fun. It can sometimes just take a little bit of practice to actually allow yourself to get there and allow yourself to work up those emotions, because we've probably spent so many years being like, I can't have this thing, like this thing isn't possible for me, this isn't who I am. I think we've all had manifestations like this where it's like for so long, like we feel like we're not even allowed to entertain the thought, you know what I mean? And if you can't even entertain the thought, like you can't create it in your reality. And I'm not telling you can't forever, but we have to solve that first. You have to be able to imagine what it feels like and feel the emotions and let it be natural to you in order for that to actually come into your reality. Want the relationship and like want the money and want the financial freedom and want the dream job, but we can't even imagine ourselves actually doing it, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes that can come from just general fear, like not giving ourselves permission or like not allowing ourselves to do that. Like if you want financial freedom, pay attention to what comes up when you try to imagine what that's like, because there might be some fears there that like, I feel like I have to work really hard for money, or I don't feel like it's easy to make money, or it's possible, or there's a lot of money available to me. And whenever those come up, that's okay. Like first, accept it, give yourself love, it's okay, but try to massage it a little bit and see how you can kind of work yourself past that so you can actually step into the state. Just be as general as possible. This is something that Abraham Hicks talks about too, like just go general with it. If you can't quite believe that that's possible for you, like what's a step in the right direction in terms of like that belief that can maybe like help you get closer to that feeling state, to making it something that's a possible reality for you. So as you're doing this exercise and you're starting to actually sit and say, okay, first of all, what do I want? And second of all, what does it actually feel like to be there? This is where the questions come in of like getting clear on like who that version of you is and like what it is that they're doing differently that you're not currently doing. You can definitely take this into your own hands and just generally reflect. And like I said, just get as detailed as possible about who this person is and how they're showing up and what their day looks like and what their life looks like. I have also produced a very free digital product for you guys that you are free to download. I will include it in the description. So if you are interested, go ahead and download that and you can walk through that process. I've basically given you all of the questions that I have personally found super, super helpful for getting clear on what this version of you looks like. Also, if you are interested, I have a plethora of other digital products that are specifically designed to help you embody the state of the wish fulfilled and subconsciously reprogram your mind. I've built these personally from my experiences and my processes and other great teachers as well. There's a ton of great ones on there, so go ahead and check out my Etsy shop and see if any of them are resonating with you. Okay, the next step after you've sat down and done this reflection, you probably have a pretty good idea of like what this version of you feels like, thinks like, acts like. So now what? And this is really where we just get to take everything that we've learned and implement it on a day-to-day basis. I'll kind of walk you through like my suggested routine and what I particularly did when my life radically shifted. And this is probably something that you're going to want to play with and kind of alter just based on how you're feeling. But basically the whole point of ritual is not to be restrictive or constrictive, but it's to continually bring you back into that state of being this person that already has it. And if you repeat it enough times, the subconscious, you're going to emit a different electromagnetic signature. Like over time, by just doing these practices, you're going to actually become this person. First thing that, in my opinion, is a non-negotiable in my identity shifting manifestation routine is visualization, specifically like the quantum jumping type visualizations. And I think like obviously there's a lot of overlap in terms of like the styles of visualization and things like that, but I would say like what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches, SATs by Neville Goddard, general like heart brain coherent visualization is what I personally do and have had massive success with. Like when I do this, every single time my manifestation has come without fail. And I'll explain exactly how I do it, but it's kind of a hybrid of those three. I quite literally lock myself in a dark closet. It's completely dark. I put on either pure alpha beats, which basically softens that barrier between the conscious and the subconscious. So you're directly programming your subconscious, basically. In my experience, it allows you to sort of bypass a lot of those limiting beliefs where that might not allow you to quite get to that state, or it's like, oh, I don't think this is possible. Oh, maybe that's not for me. Like you're just more susceptible to whatever you're open to dreaming, essentially. That's my experience. I've also used heart chakra pure tone. I forgot what the exact hertz is, but you can look them up on YouTube. If you know anything about Neville Goddard, the feeling is the secret. You know what I mean? Like definitely try to visualize and really see the thing that you're trying to create in your visualization. But in my experience, the most crucial part is having that head and heart coherence, that brain and heart coherence. So that's why having that heart chakra pure tone can be really helpful, because you want to drop out of your head and into the heart, because once you're in your heart, you're in your body, and the body is the subconscious mind. And so you're directly communicating with your cells, which in visualization, if you get into your heart, which means that you are quite literally changing your electromagnetic signature, because that your cells communicate with the universe, with what's being reflected back to you. When you drop into your heart, we've studied this, the electromagnetic frequency around your body actually expands. And when you drop into your heart, you feel love, you feel gratitude, like that's being connected to source. And everything that you want is in that state, it's in that frequency. Like everything that you're trying to manifest, you want because you think it's gonna make you feel that. It's gonna make you feel whole and gratitude and complete and abundance. So the more you can actually linger in that state, in that frequency, while you're seeing the thing that you want to unfold, that's what's gonna make it happen. Because subconsciously now, your mind has seen that happen. And basically, in terms of quantum mechanics, like once something is observed, it's a reality. Like that electron has been collapsed. Even according to Neville Goddard, like once it's been visualized, like once the subconscious mind has been imprinted, like there's no other option but for that to unfold within your reality. And there's going to be a series of events that essentially allow that thing to unfold within your life. So that's the first one. That's absolutely crucial. And I would make this just part of your daily routine. You can do it in the evening, you can do it in the morning, you can do it both. The other thing that can be helpful to implement is like a walking meditation if you have to have time to do this. And what I do is I put on alpha beats again, I go for a walk, and for the entire walk, I just try to embody the state of gratitude and feeling like the things I want are already mine, feeling like I already have the wealth that I'm looking for, I already have the friendships I'm looking for, I'm already traveling to the destinations I want to be in, whatever it is. The longer you can hold that state and stay in that state, you're going to continually build that momentum, and it's going to slowly but surely just become natural. Just pretend that you're the person that already has it. Pretend you're this dream version of you for as long as you possibly can, and just enjoy yourself, play, have fun with it. And the next thing I want to say is like just adding in daily reflection to see where maybe you fell short of this ideal version of you. Like, were there areas where maybe you were feeling like you got triggered, or maybe you were in lack, or just feeling a lot of fear or unworthiness, like anywhere you really fell from grace? Please don't beat yourself up. That's important. Give yourself love and give yourself grace. But I think it's important to take note of those times, and consciously over time, it's just going to make you pay more and more attention and bring you into more present moment awareness, so that when those moments arise, you can actually catch yourself a lot easier and make a conscious choice to say, oh no, that's not the version of myself that I'm embodying anymore. You know what I mean? It becomes less automatic the more present and conscious we can be. So I found like a daily reflection process of doing this has been really, really helpful. Quite honestly, like just make these processes part of your daily routine, because we're always manifesting. There's always going to be things that you want. You know what I mean? And if you can implement this into your daily routine, you're going to feel so good. You're not even going to care when things are going to unfold. And right when you don't care when or how things are going to unfold is when it unfolds for you. Just aim to be like 1% better every single day. Just aim to be a little bit closer to that version of yourself, the highest version of yourself, the version who has what you want, who's living in love, who's living in abundance, who has that relationship, who has the dream body, who has the health, the expertise, the knowledge, the connections, the purpose, whatever it is that you want. Like, it's all on the same energetic frequency. You know what I mean? So the more you can bring yourself into that state, the better. And another you know, other things that are always helpful, I think they're just super generic, but they really do change the game, is just like gratitude and like genuinely enjoying your life, you know? And I don't know if anyone else has fallen into this, but I've gotten into times where I'm manifesting where instead of focusing on the abundance, because I'm trying so hard to manifest, I end up focusing on the lack and just being like, where is this thing? Why is it not showing up? And so what that does is that puts us in a frequency of not having. So if you're feeling that way, try to look at ways that you can feel more full in your life with or without that thing, because that's what's going to put you into wholeness and bring that thing into your life. I'm telling you, for months I was trying to manifest things, and literally once I started romanticizing my life and like just doing little things like getting a little bit more dressed up, or playing board games with friends and just like cherishing it, just like relishing in that, or putting garnishments on my food, like just really, really subtle things, but like basically just making tweaks that made me feel like I love my life now. Like it's whole, I've got time, I'm here, I'm present. That's when things came in. And it seems like such a subtle shift, but like really look for ways that you can enjoy your life as fully as possible in this moment. Because when you do that, when you truly make your life whole and gorgeous, despite like how much money you have or whatever, like there's literally so much abundance around us. There's tons of plants in the forest and we can use them for different things. Like I'm sure you have like clothes in your closet, like play around with different looks, go to the library, get a new book, like try a new recipe, like get a new spice. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but like play with this reality you're in. Like when you put yourself in the state of play and enjoyment and fun, your manifestations are going to come in so fast and you're going to enjoy your life. You're actually going to just love it. And lastly, I just want to say, take all of your attention off of the outcome and onto the process, which I think pairs pretty well with everything we've said here today in terms of romanticizing your life and just trying to get better. But truly, like, make this process fun, make it enjoyable, and focus every single day on how you can make your processes better. Because once you do that, you're A, detaching from your manifestation, which is key to allowing it to come in. And B, you're just going to get better and better and better because you're working on your process. So naturally, when you improve the process, the outcome just becomes better. I love you guys so much. I'm so happy that you took the time to chat with me today, and I hope you join me for the next one. Happy manifesting. I love you. Bye-bye.